My next patron question is from Sonia, who wanted me to compare two Disney afternoon shows that brought iconic cartoon characters into the 90s. Which is better, Goof Troop or Quack Pack? Both of these animated shows centered on the suburban lives of Goofy and Donald Duck respectively, as they are tasked with taking care of family members. Goofy has his son Max, and Donald has his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Both series were also products of the 90s, with the young stars meant to appeal to children of that decade. Which one do I think holds up better? I'm going to say Goof Troop. Goof Troop did a really good job of showing the relationship between Goofy and Max, as well as their neighbors. The writers found a lot of humor out of contrasting the fun and carefree Goofy with the more temper-prone Pete. Some of the funniest parts in each episode come from how Pete puts up with Goofy's antics. Now things end up blowing up in Pete's face. Max and PJ, meanwhile, have terrific chemistry with each other, and the writers find a lot of scenarios by pairing Max's devil-may-care attitude with PJ's more nervous personality. The whole family dynamic with Pete's family is great, and I especially want to compliment April Winchell's voice work as his wife Peg. Her frequent reactions to Pete's behavior are hilarious and shows how little patience she has for his antics. The animation also deserves a mention. The storyboard artists put together some hilarious facial expressions for the characters, and the animators follow suit when bringing the characters to life. The animation has a lot of fluidity to it in many episodes, with Pete getting some of the best bits. I love whenever his face drops after witnessing something Goofy has done, whether it's wrecking his beloved yacht or changing his house in a way that only Goofy knows how. The physical comedy works great too. As I mentioned, you can tell Goof Troop was created in the 90s, and yet I feel like future generations can still watch the show and get something out of it. The setting is not too obnoxious. At the end of the day, the characters and humor are what should be what's up to snuff, and they still succeed to this day. Goof Troop even turned out to be funnier than I remembered, as I appreciated the different family relationships more. Quack Pack goes for a similar vibe, but does not click with me in the same way. Part of the reason is due to how the nephews are depicted. With this show, the writers wanted to give Huey, Dewey, and Louie individual and distinct personalities, including giving them different voice actors. However, to me, the three of them still felt the same. Huey is cool and laid back. Dewey is cool and laid back. And Louie is cool and laid back. The Max PJ dynamic worked in Goof Troop because they were different enough that multiple funny scenarios could be created with them interacting with each other. The storylines created for the nephews aren't quite as funny or interesting, unfortunately, and it's largely due to them being too similar to one another in attitude and personality traits. I think the current DuckTales series was able to pull off with those characters what Quack Pack fell short in doing. With Donald Duck, he still has his famous short fuse and things going wrong for him. But again, I don't think he's given a lot of funny material and plot lines to work with. I found the scene steal of the show to be, believe it or not, Daisy Duck. She gets the funniest lines, and Calf Susie brings a sarcastic edge to the character. Quack Pack did go for a more fantastical approach in its stories than Goof Troop did. Goof Troop had its share of outlandish episodes that embraced the cartoony nature of these characters, but was still very concentrated in portraying the characters' home lives. Quack Pack, meanwhile, has an episode where the nephews get superpowers and become superheroes, and another where they come across a crazy scientist on an island who turns animals into their prehistoric ancestors, and another episode where they end up back in time in a medieval village, which again can lead to some potentially funny episodes. But I never got more than a few chuckles out of the episodes I watched, most of which belonged to Daisy. Quack Pack definitely embraces the mid-90s, especially with the nephews and their overall attitude, and you can almost feel the executives trying to make the show more hip for the young crowd. It's not a bad show, but I can also see why it only lasted 39 episodes. Now let me know whether you prefer Goof Troop or Quack Pack, and thank you for your question, Sonia.